The Deadlights eyes.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I'll play again.
Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Killer Mom.
I'm just gonna bash you in the face.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to 31 Days of Horror Movies 2021. I'm your host, Sam Johnston, and with me again, we got Adam and Leslie.
Hello.
What's up?
We back.
Oh.
We back.
Mm-hmm.
The movie that we are reviewing on day 8 is Friday the 13th, Part 2, 1981, directed by Steve Miner and written by Ron Kurz. Mrs. Voorhees is dead,
Oh,
and Camp Crystal Lake is shut down. But a camp next to the infamous place is stalked by an unknown assailant.
Who could it be?
Who could that be? Let's put a camp right next
That is
there.
the stupidest thing. Why?
You know, I mean, they already have the infrastructure kind of there, so you might as well just put a camp right next to Camp Blood.
Yeah.
You know?
It just reminds me of SpongeBob. It's just like, why don't we just move the city somewhere else? And it's like literally.
This is an interesting one because neither of you have seen the first one,
Right.
Which they do give a little wrap up, which is a thing. A thing that they do in these movies.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, and even in the next one, you get this previously on that spends like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like
10 to
15
minutes
Wow.
before even the credits.
before the credits.
Like the title and everything.
You saw everything that happened in
Mhm.
the first one,
Mhm.
and they straight up used the footage from the first. Like, that movie was 85 minutes, and 15 of that was
The first
from the
Right,
first
yeah.
movie. So
Which
they
is
really had
great.
like 60 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I keep coming to the movie is like, what did these people do wrong? Where's the, as you were saying yesterday, the man reaching into the hole, pulling out something that he doesn't understand? Really doesn't seem like they did much wrong, other than building next door to the murder camp. Yeah.
Which that wasn't their fault.
Yeah,
The
no.
people that got killed in the movie, that wasn't their choice.
Yeah.
It was something beyond their control. That a lot of these movies don't do this well, but I think what makes this movie stand out is all the characters actually kind of like are interesting. Like, they all have their own personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have something going on beyond just sexy teens, whatever. Like, we have that goofy character
Mhm.
that's making jokes the
Like
whole
a
time.
Ratatouille
He
guy.
doesn't
Ratatouille
get
guy.
murdered.
And he doesn't get killed at the end.
I like
The
that
only
he
one.
did it.
We got the guy in the wheelchair, Mark, who's
Yeah.
like, he's like talking about how the doctors say he's going to be paralyzed, but he's like, I don't believe that. I'm going to train. Like, they give him like that kind of backstory and motivation. The main character herself, Ginny, is from the top just like very independent. Very,
Mhm.
very much says exactly what's on her mind. Isn't afraid to challenge Paul Holt
Oh,
authority, and she was also a child psychologist,
yeah.
Mhm.
which ultimately saved her in the end.
Mhm.
This movie spends a lot of time in the eyes of Jason.
Yes.
A lot of going through woods, peeking around corners.
Mhm.
Is very voyeur, watching them, analyzing them.
I love that. Just like, because we get to step into his shoes, and then you just see the hand moving things. And I thought that was really cool and very effective.
Mhm.
Because all of a sudden I'm being put into this position, and I'm like, no, I don't want them to die. But then they do stupid shit, and I'm just like, I can't root for you because you're a dumbass. Like, why are you hiding there?
I mean, he basically is invincible in this movie, and like the only
That's
times he
true.
fails is when the world around him kind of fails him a little bit.
Yeah.
In a certain sense, because he definitely is in his element, the woods, and murdering, and he when the chair breaks beneath him, that's when he fails, or when
Yeah.
The roof caves in.
the roof caves in on the car, and like those are moments where like things I guess that he's not as used to, like society things like cars and chairs. Yeah, maybe he doesn't really know his way around a chair. Is all I'm saying.
The music in this movie is very effective, and the sounds like you get the
fucking like yeah.
Yeah, it's very stringy. It sounded like the Psycho theme, or it's like like, and it's like it felt like it felt like we were being pursued. It felt like someone was chasing us. That music was very driving.
Yeah.
Really building the suspense and really making you wait it out until you actually see him. Vicky's coming in and it's lightning going off in the background, and then she's like slowly going up the stairs, and then you think she's going to discover the bodies, but Jason just right at the camera.
Yeah.
And she screams right into the camera too. It's very like, and there was a couple of moments where
there
right
was
at the
like 4 or
beginning,
5,
right at the beginning too, like straight up face at camera, filling the frame.
Or like anyone coming up from the bottom of the frame as if like a sort of a jump scare as well. It's just like this very, very close to the camera, suddenly like everything that is taking up the frame is this person.
Because you can't escape him.
Yeah.
He literally is filling our view, and we can't escape, just like they can't escape him. We can't escape Jason.
The first scene that we get of somebody breaking the fourth wall is the first counselor. We're at her space, and I really like that shot where we're just seeing the end of the hallway, and she's in her bedroom taking off her clothes to go to the shower. And I thought it was going to be a very Psycho type of jump scare where we're Jason, we're waiting for her. She doesn't see him because no one fucking sees him somehow. And then she gets in the shower. We're going straight to the fucking curtain. And then she just fucking pulls it and just stares at you.
Is he the protagonist of the movie? Like, so much of the movie feels like we're in his point of view. So much of every conversation is about him. Like, I guess maybe it's still the line of like, come the third movie, perhaps he is the protagonist. But in this movie, it's still like he's the antagonist. He's the kind of like that monster that's coming for you. Yes. But the idea of like a protagonist can't die, right? It's like really hard to kill protagonists because plot-wise, they still need to be doing the things to keep the plot going. He's the one making the plot happen. He's the one doing the chopping up, making salad.
Because like that voice in his head telling him to kill his mom. So it's like, I think he's literally only just doing it for her. Good.
Well, it was really interesting talking about going back to that bar scene. There's that one conversation that pretty much sets up how this movie is going to end, where Ginny is talking about her theory about Jason, and because she is a child psychologist, she's trying to analyze him and look at him as more than just this legend or scary story, as an actual person. Like she says, like, I'm serious about this. And her theory is pretty much goes to he's just waiting for the return of his mother. He's waiting for, I think she says, waiting for his mother's resurrection. Yeah. That is he just wants his mom to come back.
So the more he kills, the more he hopes. Oh, yeah, there's the line, too, where it says, killing is like a cry for help.
It's a cry for help, yeah. He doesn't know how else to express his pain.
The killing with the girl that used the perfume, and how they said, don't use perfume if you're a woman because it attracts the bears. And I think it's, in a sense, like, the perfume might remind Jason of his mom, in a sense. So, to me, that was a more personal kill. Because the other ones were quick. And then with hers was, like, that shot where we're coming towards her with a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
And it is so slow. And then we just, like, stab her.
And then we stay on her.
And we stay on her. Yeah, we don't do that with anybody else.
No.
They just like die quickly.
And that too is like that's the first moment that we see him too. So you're right, it becomes so much more personal for the audience too, because we're, oh my god, we just saw him. Now we see him now, and now he's
we see
slowly coming at us with this knife. Everyone goes to the bar and then everyone's dying.
Yeah.
Everybody that stayed there.
Yeah, you got the hanging guy, and then the skinny dipping girl right away. Boom, gone.
We don't even see how she's just, at the end, she's laying on the pile.
Yeah, you don't see her, though.
Yeah, she discovers the guy hanging and then turns around and again straight into the camera.
Straight into the camera.
Screams.
Yeah.
We know what happened. But then at the end, like, she's not even bloody.
Yeah.
No.
What happened to her?
Yeah.
Like a little slash right here.
They couldn't have put like a little blood on her face or something.
Something. They brought a dog, Muffins, to the campsite. And what I realized is that the usage of cats is a more foreboding kind of warning type of thing, to like warn us and the characters like, hey, something's coming. But the dog was always like sweet, even towards the end when we realized that it's not dead. And it was full of hope. There's the lovely like soundtrack in the back of just like, hey, we made it through. But obviously that didn't happen.
Because cats are omens of like bad luck coming, and dogs are like pure innocence, and very trusting. The dog does come up to Jason.
It does.
It does, yeah.
Like, and he doesn't kill it.
And it's not barking.
Yeah.
It's not, trying to bite him. It's just really like, hey, hi. So that's what I took from this movie too. Immediately, you get the first jump scare, pops out of the window, or like gets through the window, and then she asks, like, are you hungry? And then that's when Jason stabs her, like, hey, he is hungry for revenge. He is coming.
After the credits sequence, it's like the two people in the big monster truck thing, and they're like, woo! And they go like to the phone, and they call up their friend there, and then the guy who I'm assuming was in the first movie,
and he did the exact same thing.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
You're all doomed.
You're doomed. And it's a trope of the form, and it makes me like I know they're using it here already as a trope, and I wonder, we haven't seen that trope in the previous movies that we watched. We hadn't seen a person come up to the characters and say, you're gonna die.
Don't do this because you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of goes back to why they're ultimately get killed? I mean, it's kind of this idea of ignorance, and they literally are told to their faces that you're doomed, you're gonna die, and yet they still go towards it. Yes, for any normal person, that just seems like this is a crazy person, whatever. But it's kind of just this idea of you were warned, but you still went through with it. You still went towards the danger.
I'm thinking that he can like shift, like turn into trees, so then he can like hide among them, because there were definitely some scenes where he's just like, to us, behind the tree, and then these two people are literally coming around the tree, and then he like pops out. I was like, how did you not see him? How did you not see him? He was right there.
He would have been right there.
He said hi to you.
Yeah.
Hello. I'll see you later.
It does kind of tie into this idea of ignorance. Like, he's literally right there.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of times when we're in the POV of Jason, and he's watching characters, and they like hear something and they look out, and it looks like they're looking like right at the camera.
Yeah.
And you're like, how can you not see him? But they're still ignorant, they're still. I honestly hated Paul. I thought he was like the worst character. He was just like, he like was trying to be this like cool like leader of these kids, but he honestly was, to me, like an extremely irresponsible adult. He took them all out drinking. He left his car with them to drive home drunk. He's as much of a kid as they are.
Yeah. But
he's supposed to be the one who is responsible and controlling them. But he is not. He doesn't. I'm not even sure what he cares about, honestly.
Just Ginny.
Just Ginny.
Kind of, when she's there.
Kind of. Yeah, that is a good question. I'm not sure what he cares about either. And the whole time you're like, you get the feeling that Ginny is the survivor. She's the one who's going to make it through this. And you're just waiting for Paul to get killed and get out of her way. Yeah. Because he's just telling her everything's fine. He sees a bed full of blood. What's going on?
Nothing.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing.
Everything's normal.
That was so good. Nothing. What's going on? Nothing. yeah, nothing. The lights just went out, and there's a bed full of blood.
Yeah.
Nothing's going on.
Nothing's going on. Nothing.
That was actually right after they discovered that bed of blood. That was actually, I thought, kind of a creepy scene when the lights go out and Paul is like in the corner trying to get something, and Ginny is just like standing on the other side of the room, and there's a lot of heavy shadows, and she just like quietly says, "There's someone in this room."
Yeah.
There's someone in this room. He just stands.
Just
it's like
grows out of
creepy.
the
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god,
Grows from the shadows.
he was standing there the whole time. Paul gets knocked out because he's just sucks. And
They wrestled.
They wrestled
as well.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Paul, you wrestled. And then Ginny's pretty much on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very quickly, this movie becomes, we're down to the final girl.
Yeah.
This is it. And we have that great scene of her in the bathroom where she thinks she's safe and she's reaching for the window, and then he comes straight at the room. That's awesome.
That was the
great.
big scream from Leslie.
That was the big scream.
I mean, I knew it was gonna happen too, but it took its time to get there.
It was
Because she was like trying to like grab onto this door, and she's like, "Okay, how am I gonna open that window and hold on to this?" And then she finally lets go, and you're like, "Oh shit! Well, it's either gonna come out here or there." And immediately, I thought that was gonna take a little bit more time, and it did.
She quickly has to become the survivor. She quickly has to. She's going through. She's learning. She's testing things in these moments, and then learning from them. She's learning that Jason is gonna come through those windows. She's learning how he moves. She then starts to fight back a little bit. She escapes that house and then hides in that bush, and you immediately are like, that's the stupidest hiding place you could have gone. And it really was.
She literally
but then
just went around the corner.
She comes out and kicks him in the balls.
She
doesn't just hide.
She pulls a him. She pulls a Jason on it. Like, I'm
coming from behind a tree.
Yeah. And then bam.
She starts learning the psychology. Like, it's not just like her trying to like outwin him with physical like muscles and stuff, but she's like, oh damn, like he's a troubled person.
We know she's smart.
Yeah.
We know she's
smart.
Strategic and she's
analytical.
Yeah.
She's
and
a scientist.
empathetic.
Yeah.
And that does all the things.
She runs deeper and deeper into the woods, and she gets to Jason's shack, which is kind of the heart and truth of him.
It's his heart.
Yeah. It's his home that he's made, and in his home he has the thing that he loves the most, which is his mother. Just her head.
Just her head.
Her head and her
Wellness
sweater.
Yeah.
Her head and her sweater. Which
Yeah.
probably still has a little mom scent on it.
Yeah, definitely a little mom blood. And she like decides, all right, I'm gonna put the sweater on.
But he sees his mom's head. You're not mom, and then he blocks it. Great block. And then
Great counter. She lost her weapon there.
And then who fucking walks in but frickin'
Paul. I thought he got wrestled to death.
I was hoping he did.
No.
Wrestled to death.
Frickin' Paul comes in, and what does he do? Fucking wrestles him.
Yep.
Yeah.
More wrestling with Paul.
Eventually, Ginny gets the machete again, though.
Yeah.
And we're like, go, do something, help him out. And
very much mirroring the first, when Mrs. Voorhees gets killed, of that slow motion head lob off. She also has a very slow motion hack to pretty much his heart. They get back to their cabin, and we have this another fake out moment of they hear something at the door, and they're both revving themselves up, and they open it, and who is it? It's Muffin. Muffin survived.
A cute little song.
Yeah, the music swells, and we're like, oh, okay, at least the dog survived.
Yeah.
No! And you see his face.
Yeah.
Big reveal, you see his face. Which
I was very happy about that.
Pretty fucked up.
It
was a fun ride. I had a fun time. Adam, Leslie, thank you again so much for being here. Please plug yourself.
You can find me check out my podcast, Season 3, Episode 4, on wherever you can find podcasts.
Awesome. Still Instagram only at Color Me Leslie.
And you can find me at Beep Beep Richie T, and check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we are shooting this at.
Here right now.
Hey y'all, thank you again for doing this, and as always, let's get spooky.
Ooh.
Killer, mommy. Killer.